Yeah, we're live.
We're live, yay.
All right, we got it working. Hope we didn't lose anybody. We're a couple minutes late here.
7 minutes of desperate IT work.
It's been a long time since we both sat next to each other.
It's been a long time. It's been months, right?
For those of you in the audience who don't know who we are, I'm Chris.
I'm Bill.
I think we know everybody.
Hey.
And hopefully we'll get some folks online watching. Looks like we got one person so far jumping in here.
Yay.
And maybe we'll get a few more.
Yeah.
So if you're out there online, give us a little something in the chat so we know who's there, and we'll welcome you as well.
Yep. Please do drop your name in the chat box. Tell us anything you're thinking about, what you want to hear us talk about. Got to start with football, though.
We do. Yeah. It was a busy day yesterday.
Oh, yeah.
It was a busy day yesterday.
My son almost needed to call in sick for school because the Packers lost.
Oh, no.
Oh.
I remember those days when I was a Bengals fan. I was like, I don't know if I can get up on Monday and go to school. And you just force yourself to do it.
Yeah.
But it was a tough one for the Packers.
It was.
It was.
Tough.
It's a good game. It's a good game.
It was a good game. But kudos to Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
They played a great game.
They did. They played a very good game.
So there was a couple question marks that came up in that game. One being at the end of the game, the Packers are down 8, and they're on what yard line was it? About
they're on the 8.
They're 8-yard line.
8-yard line.
8-yard line, 4th and 8, and
2 minutes and 10 seconds to go.
Yep, and they kicked the field goal.
Yeah. Why didn't they just run it in?
Great question.
That is a great question, and
I was asking the same thing. I was yelling at the TV. Why are you doing this? You're on the 8-yard line.
Yeah, when they made that call and they sent the kicker out, I said,
You gotta be kidding me.
You're trying to lose?
You are putting the ball back in Tom Brady's hands.
Yeah.
And that's when you've got control of your destiny, which is you got the ball.
Right.
You got to do whatever you can and take control of that destiny.
Not only did you have the ball, you had the ball at home with the MVP of the league.
Right.
At quarterback.
Right there.
And, I mean, no matter how you looked at it, they were going to need, if they did, let's just say they did score and they didn't make the 2-point conversion, they were still going to need to get the ball back.
Yep.
Right.
So why not go for it? If you don't make it, Tampa Bay's on their own 8-yard line, deep in their own territory. They're probably going to try to play it somewhat safe.
They're going to run the ball.
Yep. And you get, worst case, if you can get 3 and out, or even if they get 1 first down, you get the ball back in good field position, and you take that next crack at it.
And you had, thank you.
Okay.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I thought it was a terrible decision. I couldn't believe it when I saw it
Bad
happen.
decision.
I think the only thing he was looking at was he realized he needed 2 things to happen. He needed to score a touchdown, and he needed a 2-point conversion. I think all he was really trying to do was eliminate the 2-point conversion so that all they had to do was score a touchdown.
Yeah, but you don't put the ball in the best player of the game.
Yeah, you don't give the ball back to Tom Brady,
No.
Patrick
No.
Mahomes,
No.
Aaron Rodgers. You don't give it back to him either.
No.
So
Nope.
No, it was a crazy decision. I
Screwed up.
literally could not understand it at all. Because you had to score 8 points, and you got a shot from the 8-yard line, and you got to stop Tampa Bay no matter what, like you said. So,
and I will say in that game, wasn't that Tampa Bay was necessarily the better team, but they were much better coached
Yes.
yesterday. Not trying to take anything away from Matt LaFleur. He's been a very good young coach, but that game, there were 2 times when they got caught trying to run guys off the field and got called for 12 men on the field. That's coaching. You can't have that. And then whether that's on the head coach or the defensive coordinator, that's unacceptable.
Yep.
It happens once, I might be able to forgive it. It happens twice, that's unacceptable.
Yeah.
And there was no reason for it, especially at the time and the place where they did it. Because then they're giving them, another first down to run the ball back.
I didn't watch the first half, but I watched the end of the first half. And when I turned it on, Tom Brady was throwing a touchdown pass with a second left.
Yes.
And I thought, what a disaster defensively
Yes.
that was. I mean, it's just crazy.
And that goes back again to coaching that, you've got to have, yes, the guy on the field made a mistake. I mean, he should have been back and not let anybody get past him. But A, the coach has got to remind him, and B, coach has got to set up a defense that's going to prevent that. You got to prevent the deep ball, but you also want to set up, something that's going to try to prevent the intermediate for the field goal.
Mhm.
Hey, you can live with giving up a long field goal. You can't live giving up a long touchdown.
Yeah, the defensive back said he was looking for a 10 and out kind of a thing to get in field goal range, better field goal range. Just got beat on the play.
But even I would say the play calling for Tampa Bay was just very well executed, especially in the first quarter. I mean, it didn't matter what down, 3rd and 3, 3rd and 8, 3rd and 14, they would find the right play to call to get the first down, just to keep things
keep
moving along.
Yeah, I agree. Definitely.
And I have another question. So the trend today in the NFL, and I know, Melvin, you played football growing up, when this goes to the start of the game at the coin toss. And to flip the coin, all these teams now defer the ball to the second half. I know when we were younger, when you won that coin toss, you took the ball and you went.
Yeah.
Because
exactly.
If nothing else, it gives you the opportunity to possibly have one more possession than the other team.
Yes.
Because even if you defer, or even if you've, let's just say my team has 3 possessions, your team has 2 in the first half.
Mhm.
Okay, you get the ball in the second half, that gives you 3. I'm getting the ball back again. And if I get the ball back another time and you don't, I've had one more possession than you.
Yeah.
And isn't the game all about possessing the football?
Yeah.
And why you defer, and all these teams do, and I'm sure there's some analytical out there that says that's what you should do, but I disagree with the analytics that, in overtime, nobody defers, they don't want the ball, because I know the rules are different. But to me, when the game starts, if you're prepared, you set the tone, you know what you're going to run, you go out there, you go out and you score first.
Yeah.
And Green Bay, it drives me crazy because they won the coin toss, they deferred. What's Tampa Bay do? Goes right down the field and scores.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you rather hit the ball in Aaron Rodgers' hands to start the game?
I thought the same thing.
Yes.
Hey, you don't give the ball to Tom Brady.
Yeah.
Be your home.
Yep. Michael?
I think what it was, somebody was telling me about the game. I didn't watch it, but somebody was telling me about it. I think what they did, they bent the bruise a little bit.
How's that?
They bent the bruise a little bit. Because see, back then, if you flip the coin, it's just like with basketball. If you flip the coin, one team going to make that foul shot, or one will make that goal kickoff for the other team. That's how it was back then. Whoever got it was either heads or tails. Whoever team got that flip of the coin, that was their ball. But the way they do it now, they've been in the rules a little bit, even on the penalties.
Well, there's only 2 teams that I'm coaching and I'm deferred. If I coached the 1985 Chicago Bears with Buddy Ryan's defense,
really.
you know what?
Yeah.
You guys can have the ball first. If I'm coaching the Baltimore Ravens with Ray Lewis at middle linebacker and that awesome defense that they have when they won the Super Bowl, you know what? You guys can have the ball first.
Right.
But I got one of the greatest quarterbacks in the league. Why am I deferring? I just don't get it.
Wasn't that a Belichick kind of a thing that he wanted the ball to end the first half and start the second half?
He wanted the ball, I think, hoping that he would end with it and start the second half with it. But again, I go back to I think your odds are greater of having an extra possession if you start with the ball first.
Yeah, right.
And you spend a week preparing the plays that you want to run, that you can do that. There's only so much adjusting you can do at halftime because you've got a limited amount of time to do it.
Right.
But I just someday I want us to have a coach on here who can argue the opposite of this.
Yeah.
If you could get some Hall of Famer on here, I appreciate that.
Okay, sure. Don't work on that.
No pressure.
No.
Oh, we got some questions from the audience.
It's just like when the Bengals playing the Dolphins. Remember they had a fight on the field, the team against the Bengals and the Dolphins fighting on the field?
Yeah, I remember that.
It was because of a penalty. Really. The rules got confusion. And whoever that side they gave favor to, it started confusion.
Yeah.
The rules got bent a little
The
bit.
rules may have gotten bent a little bit. Melvin, what you got?
The reason they refer like that is because they be expecting to take the lead and then still get the ball back coming to the third quarter. See, that puts them at an advantage.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's what they want to do. See, get the lead, hold the lead to the third quarter, and you get the ball back right after halftime. So if you consistently score, you can come right. Let Mahomes do that. So you ain't know, when they come back and get the ball, when they got the lead, you don't know they gonna blow you out. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying? Watch, I bet you when, Mahomes and, Brady and them play, I bet it don't be that. I bet it won't be that. Refer the ball over to some, they ain't gonna be that. They just gonna take the ball, whoever gets the head or the tail right, they're gonna get played. They ain't gonna be none of that, cause they know that he can score.
I
I
can't see
got
giving the ball to
prediction,
Patrick
Chris.
Mahomes to start the game.
No,
No.
I
know,
don't
that's
either.
right. Don't never
No,
you get a ball,
your
you
momentum is going.
I would
They
love
gonna score.
I would love to see the statistics on two teams that are fairly evenly matched of what the records are of the team that deferred versus the team that
Mhm.
took the ball first.
you know, okay, I
Right.
got
You'll see
this.
that.
Somebody was telling me that Green Bay gonna play the Chiefs in the Super Bowl. Is this a real prediction?
This is true. So if you want,
Okay,
yeah, we
my
can talk about
prediction
that.
is That Chiefs is a good competition game. We know they the champions. But Green Bay might just,
So the Chiefs beat the Buffalo Bills last night,
yeah, I
Yeah.
know.
and
That was no contest.
a lot of people thought Buffalo might win that game, but I'm not betting against Patrick Mahomes.
No.
They may not always look great because I think they said they won their last 8 games by 32 points, so an average of
Yeah.
4 points a game. But I'm not betting against Patrick Mahomes. I'm
No.
sorry. You know, Josh Allen had a great year,
What
and
is your
the
prediction
Bills had
for
a
the
great
Super
year.
Bowl? What is your
but
prediction for the Super
Yeah.
Bowl?
We're gonna get the predictions shortly.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the game
I wanna
first.
hear
I
that one.
think
If it's Green Bay, I like a heads and tails.
Green Bay's out
Well,
of
it's
it.
gonna be Tampa Bay and Kansas City.
Oh, I'll
Yeah.
go with that.
Ooh.
Tampa Bay's been doing
But
pretty
we'll
good.
talk about predictions in a minute. But
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, Buffalo they had a great year, but Josh Allen I don't think is ready to.
No.
He's not Patrick Mahomes yet. He
Nope.
made great strides, but
Yeah.
tough to bet against
I
Patrick
might be off a
Mahomes.
game or two, but I
He
think
had a good
Mahomes is
season.
25-1 in his last 26 starts.
That sounds about right. I know the Raiders beat them, and this year, and then going back to last. So what are they this year? They were
Were they 14-2?
14-2.
the 14-2.
I think so. Yeah.
13-3?
Well, they lost to the Raiders. Who else did they lose to?
I don't
They
remember.
almost lost
Oh,
two
this year they were
times to the Raiders.
15-1.
Yeah, so if they were 15-1,
Yeah.
plus the 2 playoff games makes it 17-1. Would you say 26-2?
26-1.
Yes, they probably won their last day. They won the last 3, the Super Bowl, 2 playoff games, probably half a dozen games before that. That sounds about right.
That's scary.
That is very scary.
I mean, I thought, and I do think that Lamar Jackson has great numbers as a starter, but 25-1 or 26-1.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Melvin, what you got for us?
When you look at the whole game, that, Buffalo game, somebody put it in Buffalo's head that they can whoop the Chiefs. But when they realized that they couldn't beat them, that's when the whole team started.
They get Judy.
The whole team getting ready to start fighting. You see that?
Yeah.
They realized that, man, we can't beat these guys no way around.
You know, that's the same as like when the Bengals playing the Falcons. You could
Should
take
we,
that.
should we share a couple comments
Yeah.
from the?
Yeah.
We got a couple comments from those listening online that we want to share.
Okay.
James said that he thinks it's interesting that Nate Burleson and Antonio Ruin predicted Tampa Bay would be in the Super Bowl months ago. Both cited Brady's competitive nature and talent. Yeah, you can't really bet against Tom Brady. He is the third quarterback to lead 2 different teams to the Super Bowl. Jim Plunkett did it. Peyton Manning did it.
Yeah, I think he was 4th.
The other 4th.
I think they were 4th.
Flacco didn't do it, did he?
Kurt Warner.
Kurt Warner, that's right.
Yeah.
Yep. You know, Kansas City's offense reminds me of the greatest show on turf. How fast it is.
Yeah.
You know, they just score in droves.
Mhm.
3 touchdowns in 10 minutes. You know.
Wow. That's a lot.
Yeah, no, I agree.
That's really,
They are fun to watch.
yes. Yes, they are.
James says, I think Tampa Bay has a better defense than Kansas City.
You know, I would say it's 2 different kind of defenses in the sense of Tampa Bay really gets good pressure. I mean, they got the Aaron Rodgers 5 or 6 times for sacks.
Yep.
Yeah.
They've got good cornerbacks, but they can be beat deep, just like the Rodgers had 3 touchdown passes, 1 long one.
Yeah.
Whereas Kansas City's defense, like those when you watch that game, and Melvin can attest to this, the Kansas City defensive backs, they were like glue to those receivers.
That's right.
They were like attached to those guys that Josh Allen, he had very small windows to throw into. They don't get as much pressure as what Tampa Bay does. And Tampa Bay also, other thing they do really well is they stop the run. You're not going to run. I mean, I bet I'm going to say Kansas City runs for less than 60 or 70 yards in the Super Bowl.
What you saying?
Because Tampa Bay is not going to let you run on them.
But you saying that the Kansas City Chiefs is very good when they're under pressure.
Yep.
And Tampa Bay is like semi-good when they're under pressure.
Yep. It's Tampa's weaknesses is they've gotten beat deep a few times, and Kansas City is just the team that can throw the ball deep. Yes, Bill.
That's one thing about Tampa Bay. You look at them players, them young college guys. I mean, they are really big. They're bigger than the Kansas City front line. But the only difference is this. Watch this time. Mahomes gonna start rolling out. See, when he roll out, that make their defense work extra hard. If he roll out to the right, that means the defense is gonna roll out to the right. Keep up with him because he can run. See, they can wear that big defense down. After they see they gotta go down, the people up in the office, the caboose already know. Okay, go ahead and put the draw plays on. Because they know they got him. See what I'm saying? And they know exactly what they got him. Because that boy, that's like he said, I'll let you call it again. You know, Mahomes was calling the game. See what I'm saying? So they can handle any big team.
Well, let's talk about Tom Brady for a minute. This is his 10th Super Bowl.
43.
Think about it. Dan Marino went to the Super Bowl, I think it was his rookie year.
Yeah.
And never made it back, as great as Dan Marino was.
Wow.
Tom Brady is going to his 10th Super Bowl.
And that's what, 3 different teams?
2 different teams.
2 different
Bro,
teams.
this is Tim going 10 times going to the Super Bowl. Man got experience. That's what's gonna count. Man got experience.
Good.
Yeah, it's hard to count out. When you get that much experience, it's hard to count that out. And
And
I was telling, I think it was Melvin this morning, I don't think in my lifetime, and we'll ever see a guy break that record. To me, 10 Super Bowls is going to be the, Joe DiMaggio 56 game hitting
There you
streak.
go.
That's going to be, untouchable
Cy Young.
probably in my lifetime.
Mhm.
And Pete Rose made a good run at it, and he still came up with 12 games short
Yep.
of it. That, that's like 20%. He's still 20% short of that record. As awesome as it was, 20% is a pretty big number to be short.
Well,
I thought.
and
Yeah.
Tom Brady has been in almost 20% of the Super Bowls ever played.
Yeah.
It's like 18%.
He just like, you lost his leg. And
Oh, yeah, Super Bowl five
we never think this man will break Babe Ruth's record. This man broke his record.
But we'll talk about that one in just a minute. That's a big jump from the
I
Super
was
Bowl
like,
to baseball.
how do we
But I do
get
want to
there?
talk about that. I
Yeah,
think Melvin's got something he wants to
definitely.
share.
Okay, now they say nobody probably do it with Brady. That's true, but you stop and look right now, not next year, right now. Mahomes is the only one who can do it. He's 25. If you give him another 5 years, he'd be 30, and that'd be only 3 games locked in 10. See what I'm saying? But they got it all set up good. I already figured it out. See, Brady, you got to set up for Brady to make history. Because they're going to play the Super Bowl where he's at. That's where they're going to
Yep.
play it. Where,
In Tampa
Bay's
Bay,
at.
which has never been done before.
Right?
I was just
That's
gonna
what I'm
ask you
saying.
that.
Watch what the Kansas City do. Man, I can just see it right now. Man, Kansas City going to go out there and blow them out so quick, man, they probably just going to sit down on the sideline.
We'll
I'm
see.
telling you,
We'll-
they just kind of set like
It's
that.
never been
I don't
done.
think that boy can play, but yes, he can.
But
There's some
Melvin
good
makes a
players
good
on the team, ain't no doubt, but don't ever catch your egg before the hatch.
Yeah. Well, Melvin makes a good point. The Super Bowl's never been played in a team's home field. Now,
Yep.
the 49ers played at Stanford, but that was not their home field. It was close. And the LA Rams played at where was it? Was it the LA Coliseum or somewhere? But it wasn't their home field at the time. So there've been 2 teams that played close to home,
Okay.
but it was not their actual home field. But I don't know how much of a home field advantage it'll be in this day and age of COVID. I mean, I don't even know how many people they're going to let into the Super
Right,
Bowl.
well, I don't know how many of those will be Tampa Bay fans.
There was a lot of people at that game.
He already got 10 games. And to play at home and win the Super Bowl, that'll be his.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think it was,
City got to be playing the big time.
I think it'd be a bigger advantage for Tampa if, let's just say, Kansas City had not been to the Super Bowl before, but because they've been there and won it, I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference.
The only thing I think might make a difference is the routine. Tampa Bay can treat it just like a home game,
Yeah,
and Kansas City can't really treat it like a road game because they can't even go to Tampa Bay until Friday before the game because of what's going on.
that's true. That's true. Let's see what else we have on here. They said 24,000 people or so will be let into the Super Bowl. And I also like James's feedback on number 32, Tyrann Mathieu will probably be a key player in the Super Bowl, for better or for worse, for good or bad. Just believe he will be involved. And you're right, James. Tyrann Mathieu, he seems to be around the football.
Yeah.
He'll either make that great play where he intercepts one or gets that sack, or he can sometimes be that guy that goes for the interception but can get beat sometimes. But more often than not, it's usually on the plus side for him. He's a really good football player.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I told this before, but talking about Tom Brady in the Super Bowl, on the one hand, he has 5 Super Bowl rings. On the other hand, he only has 1.
He doesn't even want rings on his fingers. That's his problem.
You didn't like that one, Judy? All
Oh,
right.
that was a good one. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Come on, I always say this.
Wait a minute. Go ahead, Melvin.
Let's see. Brady and I don't forget what I was gonna say. I'll come back.
Okay.
I put it like this, Chris. Now you say Tampa Bay and Chief, and Tampa Bay gets less penalties, they got a chance. You already know about the Kansas City Chiefs. You know how they gonna play. But every time a team like that, it be some kind of big problem. One of the teams gets penalty, it's never slow to score.
You're right. Yeah.
Either the defense gets a penalty against them, or somebody is either doing the wrong thing. I don't see too much of that going on in certain teams. They're either hitting them too hard, or they're doing something like with the interception pass. We give them credit for that, but either hitting them too hard or injured. And the next thing you know, they got a penalty flag don't throw on them, or they're off the side where they don't supposed to be. You get a flag down on them. If they can play a straight game without no penalty throwing at them, that's a good competition.
That is.
That would slows the team up. You get them penalties and the flag down on them, that would slows the game up.
Yeah, you're right about that. It
If
brings
you
up the
go in there with
consistency.
another team, and this team got less penalties than the other team, that's good competition. That's what you want to avoid. Is the flag and the penalties, because that's what slows the game up.
Well, after I thought about it now, I'm wondering if we should save. Why don't we save our predictions for next week's show?
Okay.
We'll give everybody a week to kind of digest and kind of hear what's going on for the games, and we'll
I like that.
we'll talk next week about who we think's going to win.
I have a question for you. We brought up Joe DiMaggio earlier.
Yeah.
6-game hitting streak, right? I do think that that's attainable. I don't think it's going to happen for a long time, but I think what's less attainable is Nolan Ryan's 7 no-hitters.
Yes.
If I had to bet
I
on one or
agree.
the other, I would bet nobody's going to have 7 no-hitters.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that's a good comparison.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't know. 56 games is really hard to beat.
I think where I'm at would be, well, one of the things I would like to see baseball do, because the players are so much bigger and stronger now than they were,
Yeah.
10, 15, 20 years ago. I would like to see them either move the pitching mound back a couple feet or lower it to give hitters, like I feel like the pitchers have all the advantage right now.
Yeah.
They do.
So you're probably right. If nothing's changed, then
Well, I see
I think it's gonna be tough for a hitter to get
yeah.
56 game
Yeah.
hitting
Straight.
streak, and unless you get that one of a kind human being like Nolan Ryan was, you're not gonna get somebody to throw
No.
7 no.
No.
hitters.
7 no-hitters? No.
It could be not just the player, it could be the manager of the team, the coach. Sometimes you get some sloppy coach.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right, Michael. You know, talking about penalties, you know, that's coaching for the most part.
Yeah, you get some sloppy coach. I mean, they trade, they bring in new so-called good coaches. The next thing you know, you just got a funny thing about it.
I do wonder how Bruce Arians going to do scheming for Patrick Mahomes in the offensive.
I don't know. He's just.
I don't know.
Well, they seem to do a good job scheming against Aaron Rodgers. So I don't,
Yeah,
they'll
he
come up with something.
Yeah.
I know, Michael,
did. I
you
believe it.
touched upon somebody I wanted to talk about.
Aaron-
This was
Aaron-
Henry Aaron.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this
This
man grew up in property. Very back in the days. Things look right back in the days. Long time of the civil rights movement. This man made history by the great
Yeah.
color of his skin, if you want to put it that way. But this man had a determination and love for baseball.
Yeah,
He went through some very hard time in life,
very.
but he kept his dream. At first it was the family, but he turned it into a dream, and then he turned it into a career. This man was fighting for something he believed in, and that's where all your players on both sides of the fence come from. A dream, which is a fantasy,
Yeah.
but became reality. They fought for something they loved and believed in. And Hank Aaron,
That's very well
Very well
said.
said.
Very well
Exactly
said.
what I was going to say. Yeah.
Very.
Aaron had he never thought he never had in his mind to break the record. I'm gonna tell you something about when he broke the record of Beirut, it was a lot of hatred towards him.
Yeah, yeah.
It was
Yep.
death
He got a
threats.
lot of death threats.
Yeah, a lot
Yeah.
of death
Oh,
threats.
yeah,
Death
before, I
threats.
couldn't even imagine what he went through.
Oh,
He
just
went
like
through
Jackie
he went
Robinson.
through something at that time. It was the time of the civil rights movement.
Yeah.
He went through that battle, racial profile battle, hatred. And he lived that. He dealt with that. And he got strong by the minute.
Yeah.
And that man believed in something. It was in his heart that he wanted to succeed and be successful at it. He became successful with it. He broke that record. The
And
first
it-
African American
it's-
to break that record.
I mean, as a little kid, you grown up playing baseball. I mean, that is probably the most iconic moment to me is
Yeah,
seeing him on television rounding the bases. And you'll never see this in this day and age, where the fans are running there,
Yeah.
patting him on the
Yeah.
back.
but I'm gonna tell you
But-
something.
Well, I think if I remember correctly, what I heard was
that game would have been, that record would have been, it was going to be broke up in, but they really had it set for Atlanta, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well,
It was a
But-
double
It would have
take.
been
But
broken
also,
here,
what I
but-
was going to say was he was, I think, if I remember right, he was in an interview and he said he was scared to
Yep.
death
Yes,
running
he
the
was.
bases because he thought that somebody was going to come out there
And
and
shoot
kill
him.
him because of all the death threats
Yeah.
he received. You know, I can't imagine you're one of your greatest moments in your life, and you're worried that your life might get taken.
You gotta look at all these. Yeah, I tell you, he had one thing in his mind. Frankie Robinson. He broke the record of success of
Jackie.
being an African American baseball player. You had Jackie Robinson. He broke the record of being a successful baseball African American successful player. And then you have Berta Perez. They didn't like him either. It was a lot of hatred back in the days of racial profiling.
Yeah, when you go back from the early 70s into the 60s and before that, unfortunately, there was a lot
There was
of
a lot of
racial strife
Yes,
and
it was.
and
The strength that they had
those straight, yes.
is what they believed in and what they represented for themselves. They believe that they can achieve this and be successful in their own way. And that's how you be successful. You believe in you, not just what you are trying to represent to other situation. It's what you love and what you've been loving all your life. This man, he just had this dream of being this important person. And he became this important person. He became a legend. And that's what legends come from.
Yep.
Legends come from start from day one on up. You got to start from scratch just to get that build up. And you're going to go through some.
And to really
you're
get
gonna go
into
through some
that
reality.
legendary stats, it's not what you do on the field. It's
how
what you do
represent
off the field and how
yourself.
you carry yourself.
It's how you believe in
And
yourself. That's
he's-
your achievement right there. And
Yep.
this man had a very
A
good,
plus.
strong achievement.
Yeah.
A plus
He
for
didn't-
Henry Aaron.
He
Oh,
never
yeah, big
expected to break that record. It was something he believed in himself about what he wanted to prove for himself. And he did it. And even though they took it the wrong way, but this man just had something in him that gave him that boost. That was his goal.
I heard a
Be
lot
what
of
he
people
was.
talking about Henry Aaron the last few days, and someone said he used all that hatred for motivation.
That's what he did.
to get it done.
Because he had it in his heart to
Yeah,
succeed.
he knew he was gonna do it.
He had in his heart to
He was
succeed.
fueled by all that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Melvin, what were you gonna say?
I just want to reflect back on the game between the Packers and Brady. Now, in the middle of the game, you notice that they start saying like, "Oh, did you see that? He was holding his shoulder. Look, look." And they showed him holding. They did not call some of those plays in the game, but they called a play in the game that caused the Packers to lose. When he was holding the guy's jersey in the back, the touchdown.
Well, oh, go ahead.
He got called for pass interference,
Right.
that gave the Tampa Bay first down.
But they
Pretty much
never,
sealed the
but they,
game
but they never, but they never showed the rerun where he was holding the other guy's shoulder
But
like that.
I've always been a
And they showed him
believer
like that on the sideline.
that the referees don't win or lose a game for you. Are they going to make a bad call here and there? Yeah, but you know what? You've had 70 other plays before that you could have done something different. And I know everybody always wants to single out a single play where they missed that or they called that. And it doesn't have an impact on the game yet. But you know what? The impact, there were 70 other plays before that I was always taught, never put yourself in that position where
Never.
you're going to have to rely on a referee for a good call or a bad call to win a game for you. You
Right.
should never even be in that position.
Like I was saying before, Chris,
But he
some of
never
them rules,
called, he never threw a red flag. That's how come they never said nothing about
Yeah.
because some of them rules don't been changed in certain categories.
Yeah.
If I threw a pass and it got intercepted, and that call was perfect, and then it came out that that call was not perfect, that kind of show you what was bent in that rules of the game. And there's been a lot of that going on.
I got another question for everybody. This is going to be an interesting one here. And for our folks online as well. All right. So in my eyes, there's only one home run champion, and that's Henry Aaron.
Yeah.
You already know.
Barry Bonds broke that record.
Boo.
And-
Steroids.
And do people
Boo.
recognize Barry Bonds as the home run champion?
No,
Or do they recognize Henry Aaron as the home run champion? In my eyes,
it's still
It's-
Henry
it's
Aaron.
Henry
Barry
Aaron.
Bonds.
Still Henry
you
Aaron.
go Barry Bonds?
No.
If he was
Steroids.
now Hank Aaron got the publicity and the credit for what he did. But if it's the original person that really was the founder of breaking that, then he should have got that credibility. But if he didn't get that credibility, you know where it went to the most.
But I think people are afraid to talk about it because
Yeah, they
don't wanna
talk about it. He just
take
like
away from what Barry Bonds did, but at the same
He
time,
was
again,
steroids.
he was breaking the rules
Yeah.
to get
He
there.
was
yeah,
using
he
help.
broke the rules.
to
But
break
see, the
it.
thing about it, what I was saying before, even though he came to that element of doing it, the credibility went to the other person. Sometimes you can do something and you might get that credibility, but it might not be you. It might not be your mission to get that credibility. It could be the other person to get that all together.
He didn't
Melvin,
deserve
Barry
the
Bonds or
credibility.
Henry Aaron?
Henry Aaron.
Henry Aaron because they well, y'all gonna say he didn't, but the way the media was talking to him, it was either yes or no. And he said, "What do you mean? Was you using it?" So he said, "Yeah." That was all of his career right there. It
Yeah.
was no thing about him hitting all them home runs. But they
Right.
already knew how he hit all them home runs. And
Yeah.
that's exactly what it was.
Juicy.
He admitted that he was using it.
Larry, Barry Bonds or Henry Aaron? Who's the real home run champion?
Everyone's Barry Bonds.
You think it's Barry Bonds?
No.
How about Tony? Who do you think?
I don't know.
Not sure?
No, I'm not sure, Chris.
No.
Okay. You got any thoughts?
Who's the home run champ for the most home runs in 1 year?
Was that Mark McGuire?
Yeah. It was McGuire.
If it's McGuire, then it's got to be Barry Bonds.
Well, they-
McGuire was known to use a substance. You know, also he admitted that.
Yeah, I think it's one of the ones where is it McGuire or was it Roger Maris?
Right. That was my question.
I go. To me, it's Roger Maris.
Yeah.
You know, some Christians said, get credit where it's due. Get credit where it's due. If that credit is with that person, then that's what it's due with that person. You know, the other person gets credit.
Oh, I'll
Using
give
drugs.
I'll give credit that he was a good baseball player, but that doesn't mean just like if I'm taking an exam and I'm cheating off of Bill's paper, and I got myself 100 because Bill got 100. Okay.
Yeah.
What
You
if I
don't- you
prove?
didn't
I've
know
proven that I can copy well. I've proven I can cheat well. But does that prove that
Did you get that credit for it?
I may be on a piece of paper, but when I got to take that credit into the real world, I got nothing to show
To
for
show
it.
for
Right.
Yeah.
But
So-
that's why I say give credit where it's due. If that person
He cheated.
cheated just to do that, then he don't need.
If he
wasn't allowed to get
cheated,
that
then I
credit.
give him credit for being a good cheater. It doesn't
No,
mean I gotta
so
give
the
him credit for
is due
being
to the person that.
just like I don't need to get credit for being smart because I cheated off of him. It
No.
doesn't mean I got to give him credit for being a champion.
So then we already know it was hanging.
Hank Aaron.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, he did it on
What
his
do we
own
have
merit.
online? Does anybody have any thoughts?
Jim said that he thinks Bonds broke the single season record with 72.
Oh, you're right. I think he did. Thank you, James. You're right. I think he did break
He was still,
that one.
He was still juicy.
But yeah, that was when he was.
Yeah, he was still,
And
on the steroid,
I-
HGH or whatever he called it. He was still on it when he broke that.
Yeah, in my eyes, it's
McGuire
still,
was still on it when
and
he
Sammy
broke the
Sosa
record.
was too.
Yep,
and
they were all.
was it fun to watch back then? Yeah,
Yes.
but
Was it good for baseball? Yes, it got everybody excited and everybody was, wanting to see the race between McGuire and Sosa. And it was great, because everybody was like, oh, I got to watch that. I got to watch that. And baseball was fun, and exciting.
and then shortly when it was over and the proof came out that they were cheating,
Yeah.
Yeah.
then it was like, okay.
It's like,
But it was-
okay, but it was fun at the time.
Wasn't
Yeah.
it different?
Yeah,
Wasn't
but
different,
it was wrong.
Yeah, I
But
agree.
it was different. It had something to do with the bat.
No, they did not cork the bats.
Well, they were talking about the balls too at the time, and
Yeah,
and-
they were saying about
but
the
I
corking
just-
the bat. Sosa, they
Yeah,
said
really
Sosa had
corked the
corked
bat.
his bat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's right. He did
Uh-huh.
cork it, didn't he?
It's really,
That's where it came
it's
from.
really based on facts
Yeah, he
of
had
what
court.
really came out.
Corking
True
that bat,
facts.
yeah.
Who really was better than the next opponent. So Hank Aaron came out on top. Even though we knew the other person would have this little backup plan about how he wanted to be successful in what he was doing. But still, the referee, it came out, not referee, but the credit came to the person that we know today.
It's Hank Aaron.
Yeah, that's where the proof came. The truth came out. Even though that person had an arm on one arm, the other person had a better arm on the other arm.
Yeah, I just remember back in the day when they didn't really prove the steroids at first. It was
No,
kind
it
of
was a lot
rumored.
of athletes
I
back
think
in
it was
the
a
day.
Baltimore Orioles outfielder. I want to say Brady Anderson.
Ah,
I
I
can't
think I
remember if that was
know.
his
Oh,
name.
I know.
He was using
Rafael
steroids. I know he was
Palmeiro.
So not Palmeiro.
Okay.
This was somebody.
Ah.
This was a guy who hit like 10 home runs.
And then he hit.
And then the following year,
Yeah.
it was
Yes.
30, 40, I can't
Yeah.
remember some crazy number.
Yeah, you're
Everyone's
right, you're right.
like, well, I could see okay, let's just say you get a 50% increase. You go from
Was
10
that
to
baseball
15.
player?
Okay, even 100% increase. 10 to
I think
20.
I know
But
what
to
you're
get up
talking
to
about.
30, 40, 50, I'm like,
Yeah.
Was his
how
name?
do you do? I want to know if it was done legitimately. How did he do that? Because he should be teaching baseball to every little kid out there
Yeah.
Was
on
it,
how to increase your
was he a
power.
pitcher or a batter?
This was a batter. I can't
I
remember.
think I knew. Was his
Was it
name
hitter?
Blue?
His first name was Brady, and I
It may
can't
have been
remember.
Brady.
I can't remember his last name because I don't want to.
Brady.
It's
and-
one
I don't wanna say the wrong
one of
person.
Brady
was
played
using
for the
steroid-
Orioles.
Steroid. He got busted with
So we'll
it.
have to
I think I
look it
know- I
up.
can't think of his
but-
name, but it
Oh,
might be.
Jose Canseco got busted.
No, yeah, and then Rafael Palmeiro, you mentioned him as well. And those guys were all good hitters.
But that's
And,
when
and
he-
the guy I think of too was a good hitter as well, but he was not a power hitter. Those
Right.
guys, Canseco was a power hitter.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Remember when Sammy
McGuire.
Sosa came up to the league? His claim to fame was his speed. He was about
Yeah.
130 pounds soaking wet,
Yeah.
and then he started
Mhm.
juicing it.
I think at that time, that's when they started investigating about some of them players using steroids.
Well, Canseco, it all came out with him too.
Yeah, but he spilled all the beans.
Yeah, he put all the beans. Definitely Canseco.
Well, I had some good discussions
It
there.
is, yeah. We have the same discussion with the pitchers. Does Roger Clemens belong in the Hall of Fame?
Yes.
Well, and
I think he
Barry
belongs-
Bonds belongs in the Hall of Fame, but just
They
not
should-
with
they
those
Yeah, they
titles.
should have an asterisk next to his name
Because
saying yes, he did all this, but he also did steroids.
If you take away the steroids, he was still a Hall of Fame player.
Yeah.
So was Roger Clemens.
That's what I mean.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Take
But-
away the
but the
steroids, and he
records-
was still a good ball
But
player.
you
He's
don't,
still a
to me, you don't give
phenomenal
them
ball
you don't
player.
give them the records though.
You know something, Chris? When the time they was investigating
Still a
some of
good
these
player.
players, athletes taking steroids, a lot of dirty work, dirty cool going on with that. There's a lot of other things mixed up in baseball we discovered was behind some of these major players and athletes taking steroids. It was dirty cool going on. And when they got out in the open, that's when they started to investigate the situation even more.
Yeah.
There's a lot of dirty pool back in the days. And people don't want to
Well,
talk
yeah.
about that. There's a lot of dirty pool in sports.
Melvin, you get the last word before we move into our wisdom of John Wooden.
Okay, see, everybody, you get so good that somebody presents you with something to make you more good. You know what I'm saying? I'll give you this athlete was the fastest running young female in all sports. Her name was Jones. You know when they got her and her husband?
Yep.
Her husband throw we call it weight ball.
Yep.
He could throw it so
Shot put or
far.
discus.
And she could run so fast. Sister too.
Mhm.
I mean, just breaking records. And all of a sudden they tried. She said with a straight face, no, I'm not doing nothing like that. I don't do that. And all of a sudden they popped. She was crying and she said, they suspended her for 6 months. They still wasn't certain of it. Then she told the truth on herself. That she was doing it. I think she done faded away.
Yeah.
She done faded out of the league.
Yeah, I think she lost her records and all that.
You know what it is,
That's what I said.
doping?
Sports,
Yeah.
sports started off in one era, and then next, had another era where it became dirty. Things were popping up on athletes that we did not know about.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things mixed up with sports that we found out about, even with steroids investigation.
Yeah.
It's
What
dirty
about
pool.
that?
Brady Anderson hit 16 home runs in 95, and he hit 51 in 96.
There,
Yeah,
that
there's-
was Brady
Yeah,
Anderson.
Brady
was.
Anderson, yeah.
16 to 51.
And
And what did he do the year after?
18.
18.
He had 210 career home runs in 15 years, and 15 over almost a quarter of him in 1 year.
Did he ever come out saying anything as to what? I mean, did he ever come out and say how he hit 51 home runs?
Don't know about that. I don't
Now,
know. Yeah,
No.
51. No.
Okay.
in order to break Hank Aaron's
You never said
record,
nothing bad
you
about it?
have to hit 40 or more home runs. You have to do that 20 years in a row to break Babe Ruth or Hank Aaron's record. That's what you have to have.
Yeah.
Consistency. You have to have at least 40 or more,
Yeah.
20 years in a row. That's what Hank Aaron did.
Did he ever hit 50?
Yeah,
He did.
yeah. I mean, yeah, definitely. He had like
He had lots
40,
of years
40,
where it was
45,
35,
46,
45.
47. He had 50, 52, 50, 56. Yeah.
Does anybody know how many titles Hank Aaron won? He played for 20-something years.
He had a lot of time.
How many?
Titles.
I'm talking World Series titles, not home run titles. World Series titles.
Oh, not that many. He played for the Braves.
I
also
think
here, didn't he?
only
He played
known
for
title that he really
Atlanta
got.
before they played for Milwaukee.
That's
Yeah,
right.
I know- yeah.
Milwaukee. Yeah.
And
I think the only title that he really got when he broke that record of Babe Ruth.
I think he won one World Series. If
Yeah.
I remember right, I think when he was a rookie or a second-year player,
Yeah.
he won one with the Milwaukee Braves.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
think that because unfortunately for him, all those Atlanta teams he played on were not
No, they
very
suck.
good teams.
No.
That's a shame.
Which
But
was
his recognition came when
Yeah.
the biggest recognition that he ever got was when he broke the record. Babe
yeah.
Ruth. That was the title, right?
I mean, he was always recognized as a phenomenal individual baseball player.
Yeah, he
but,
was always.
but
that,
as
but
far as the
the
team goes,
No.
and he,
No.
it was the
So-
Mets and the Reds and all these other
Yeah.
teams at that time.
Mhm.
But like I
That's,
said, the only
St.
title he
Louis.
only recognition he really got is when he broke the record, Babe Ruth. That was his title right there. That would make him the
Yeah,
legend.
but
in
he,
that
he
game.
was he was a good.
I just want to make sure I'm correct on that. If he won a World Series, I think he did
Yeah.
like his first or second year.
Without breaking Babe Ruth's record, he still would have went to the Hall of Fame because he was a hell of a ball player.
Oh
He's in the
yeah,
Hall of Fame now.
without a doubt.
yeah, that's what
He's
I
in the
mean.
Hall of Fame now.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, he didn't have to break that record to get into the Hall of Fame. He was a great ball player to begin with,
That was
Yeah.
his fantasy. That was love.
but that was like
Yeah.
icing on the cake.
Braves beat the Yankees in 7 games in 1957. That was his only World
Is
Series.
on- okay,
Wow.
so you did win one.
Wow. Can you imagine that?
Well, I got one wisdom of Wooden I want to share with everybody. It's been a long time since I've gotten to do this.
Yep.
So I pulled a little. It's almost a little poem, and it's about effort and trying, and it goes like this: I am not what I ought to be, not what I want to be, not what I am going to be, but I am thankful that I am better than I used to be.
That's a good statement.
And it says it's important to keep trying to do what you think is right, no matter how hard it is or how often you fail. You never stop trying. You always keep trying. And that's why I thought of that, because I was thinking of Henry Aaron and
Yeah.
just, the
All he went through.
No,
what he encountered in life and the challenges and the obstacles. He just kept moving forward.
Yeah.
You know, there's no clear say about that, Chris. Keep reaching for the stars.
Yep.
Keep reaching for
Keep
the
reaching
stars.
for the stars and good things will happen.
Yeah.
I've got one
That's
thing
it.
about basketball I want to mention.
Yeah.
The Southwest Conference finally is back. Baylor is number 2, Texas is number 5, Houston is number 6, and Texas Tech is in the top 10. So
I was going to throw out there, I saw Texas was in the top 10. Is that
Yeah.
Rick Barnes? Is he still the coach?
no, it's Shaka.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Not Shaka Khan.
Chuck
She's a
Smart.
singer.
Shaka
Chuck Smart.
There you go. Yeah,
Wait, is Houston in the?
Houston's number 6, Texas.
Yeah,
is
but are
number
they?
5.
They're not in Texas's league.
No, I was referencing the Southwest.
Okay, the whole
Conference.
Southwest.
Yeah. Remember the Southwest Conference?
They were in the old
Arkansas,
Southwest Conference.
Texas, yeah.
Houston,
SMU, TCU.
Phi Slama Jama,
Yeah.
back in those days. Yeah. All right. Well, let me see if there's anything else online. Old James says he does not remember Aaron hitting more than 50. And what? Chris Sabo and Billy Hatcher court their bats
Their
too?
bats, yeah.
I don't believe that.
No.
I need some sort of confirmation. I was a big Spuds fan. Chris Sabo.
Yeah.
He was a gritty third baseman.
He
to say the
was.
least.
I like to know that.
And
Very
Billy Hatcher
gritty.
too. Billy Hatcher, I think at one point was 7 for 7 in the World Series, if I remember
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
across multiple games.
Oh yeah. Yeah. Definitely.
What kind of messed up is that? You say Sabo?
Chris Sabo?
Okay, that's the one that came out of what, football?
Nah, I don't think so. I don't think he was a football player. He kind of came out of
Sabo's
nowhere
the
for the
one that
Reds
wore
and
the
played third
goggles.
base. He wore the goggles.
Yeah. He wore the goggles.
He was a good third baseman.
Yep. He was
Did we
good
have
when he went to
50
the
out
World
of
Series.
Aaron?
No, we never hit 50.
Henry Aaron never hit 50.
Never hit 50.
He had 44 4 times. Hit 47 once.
I knew it was close to 50.
In a whole
Put it this way: if Henry Aaron had been on the same medical supplement that those guys were, he would have hit 100.
Yeah, right.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's why he's my home run king.
Yes.
Yeah.
I like that. That actually makes sense. Yeah. Put him on steroids and see what he's going to do. I can go with that.
He been on steroids
Oh,
with
yeah.
Superman.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He
Definitely.
put on
Can you
steroids
imagine
like
what he
a
could
He
do?
would have
Well,
been Superman at the plate.
Well, for that matter, if Babe Ruth had really applied himself 100%,
That's true.
he would have. That would have been like 900 home runs.
It's funny because I was watching, when I was flipping channels during the game yesterday, they had a special on the baseball channel, and they were talking about Henry Aaron, but then they were talking about the first Hall of Fame and the people that were at the first Hall of Fame, which was Ty Cobb,
Cy
Honus
Young.
Wagner, Cy Young,
Young,
Babe Ruth, Christy Matheson,
Yes.
all the greats of baseball when it first started.
Uh-huh.
And they showed clips of you mentioned Babe Ruth.
Yeah.
And Babe Ruth, I mean, he was just a football player playing baseball.
Yeah.
And I mean, just the size
And
of
he
that
started
man.
out as a pitcher.
But it wasn't like a football player in the weight room. It was just like you're a big football player.
Uh-huh.
And you could tell he liked to have a good time.
Yeah.
And it was just, and even his swing was not a pretty swing.
No.
And even Ty Cobb, when they were showing little clips, like his hands were like, he'd be moving his hands up and down on the
Choking
bat.
up on the back.
Yeah, and sometimes they'd be split.
Yeah.
And he hit, I think, 362.
But
They
just,
made a
movie
just
about
think,
him.
just
It's kinda
think
interesting
what-
to see these
what
guys.
he
They
would
made a
have
movie
done.
about him, Babe Ruth. You ever seen this movie? I think it came back out.
I have not. I bet it's
I've seen it though.
Good
It was a based on his life story, it's a movie about Babe Ruth.
Yeah, I saw it.
You saw it?
It
I
was
did
good.
too. It's an interesting movie how his character was in his life.
Yeah, and if he really applied himself, he could have hit 100.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, at
They,
least
they
100
say
more.
he was, I forget the statistical analysis of it, but,
Yeah.
Named
but
the
it
candy bar.
was him, and then everybody else was back here when it came
Yeah.
Mhm.
to home runs. He
Mhm.
was that far ahead of
He was
everybody else.
so
That's why they
good.
named that candy bar after Babe Ruth. Remember that candy bar, Babe Ruth?
I do remember Baby Ruth. I think we
That's
saw
candy
some on
bar
the
named
snack
after
bar.
Babe Ruth.
Yeah.
That's the
That was-
candy bar named after Babe Ruth.
That
Well,
was
they had
good.
O. Henry too.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, but Babe Ruth was so good. He even called his shot the one time.
Babe Ruth was the
That's how
one
good
thing.
he was.
Babe Ruth was to point that bet, and he pointed that bet. That's where that ball was going to go.
Yeah, he was pointing it. That's where I'm going to hit it.
The conversation about Babe Ruth not applying himself reminds me, I think it was John Crook that was out after a game, he was smoking, and someone came up to him and said, I can't believe you're smoking, you're an athlete. He said, lady, I'm not an athlete, I'm a baseball player.
Yeah, just think, if Babe Ruth would have, not stayed out and drunk all night
Yep.
before the game, how much better he would have been.
Yeah. Well, I'm calling my shot. I'm headed to the snack bar.
All right.
That's my shot. Remember that way.
Thank you guys very much for being here.
Yep. Everybody have a great day.
Thank you
All
guys.
right, Chris.
See you next week.
See ya.
All right.
Hey, good morning.